God, this is only just coming to me. Can I? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the year anniversary of the first Mothman festival that I attended.
Amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
A type of bird, kind
A
of.
type of bird. That's why I got so excited.
He's a partially finished mother tattoo man.
Yes. An equally contested bird.
I love it. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Ahoy, listeners. This is Debut Buddies. It's a fortnightly podcast about firsts. My name is Nate. I'm one of the buddies.
I'm Kelly. I'm an additional buddy.
I'm Chelsea. I'm the other buddy.
And guess what? This episode is for the bird.
Oh,
The first bird, that is.
Woo.
Because there were no birds before. But now we're surrounded by birds. And I'm not even going to bury the lead. All those birds are dinosaurs. So fucking get with it. Can you imagine if in Jurassic Park they pull the Jeep over, Alan Grant looks out the window, takes his sunglasses off, looks up, and there's just birds, and he's like, "Holy shit, birds!"
Oh my God.
I mean,
that
that
is
horror
my
movie
heaven.
was already created.
Oh, birds. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just seeing them as dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
What
one of my
size
favorite-
are we talking?
Which one?
What size are these birds?
Oh,
Are
like
these dinosaur birds?
I mean, I think kind of both. They can be big,
pigeon,
and regular sized.
T-Rex sized pigeon.
Years ago, I used to play golf with my coworkers. We would go golfing on a Sunday morning, very early, to the cheapest golf course available. We would play golf, and then we would come home and we would indulge in disgusting breakfast sandwiches and
that's fun.
marijuana and watching yet more golf and playing video games.
There it is. When you
these were the
said
things.
breakfast sandwiches, I was like,
like,
thought
that's
for
not what I thought was
sure
gonna
he
happen.
was going to say weed.
I'm glad the breakfast sandwiches were the indulging part.
It was a
Indulgent.
sandwich sold by Deli Zone called the Kong that had
Oh.
hash browns, sausage, bacon, eggs, cheese on it, all in a roll.
How many eggs?
Like
Just two?
as many as you wanted. Like
Four.
it felt like probably 6 eggs. On
That seems like a lot.
It was a lot.
Did it have
It was
sauce?
so much food. Yeah, it also had like a kind of not like a hollandaise, but it had like a creamy-ish sauce that was
Mhm.
very like it was. I will never regret having eaten probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 of those in my life.
Yeah.
But I will never do such a thing again.
Yeah.
There was no coming back from that sandwich.
Smart.
That was a day-ending sandwich.
Mhm.
It was like, boom, you are asleep or
Watching golf with your buddies.
yeah, watching golf with your buddy. But we were on one of those golf courses, and one time we're like going up the fairway on one of the holes, and this couple of geese and goslings come over, cresting over the hill, walking toward us. And I had a moment where I was just like, they're dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
You look at them and you're like, those are Brontosaurus, Apatosaurus, whatever sauruses of that kind. And that's it.
Yeah.
And it turns out that shit's completely true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here. So I was driving, doesn't matter where, I was driving the other day and
Safely.
also saw safely, so safely that I did not get a video of this, even though I really wanted to. But I was driving past the fairgrounds, and there are always geese on the fairgrounds, and they were coming up, they were cresting a hill, but not coming over the hill.
Mhm.
I could just see their little heads above the crest.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, my first thought was Loch Ness Monster. Who maybe is a dinosaur
Yeah.
and therefore a bird?
And could
No,
just
hold
be a giant
Yeah.
duck or something.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
be.
Like, what if it's just a
Probably
really
is.
old swan?
Oh.
Oh, do you think
Did you
that's what
know
the
that
ugly duckling was about?
I'm saying.
Oh. Did you guys
What was
hear
that?
about, have you heard of a swoose?
No.
A swan goose. They're
Sweet.
real and they're called swooses. I don't know. I saw this on TikTok and I didn't fact check. Maybe I don't. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
No, they're Googleable.
Thank you for
I believe
fact
it.
checking in real time.
It is an
They've
actual
gotta
hybrid
be-
between a swan and a goose.
And so they
Bonkers,
can't
right?
procreate.
You can
right?
see it's got all the chill vibes of a swan on the in the front and Goose Party in the back.
Beautiful.
But
It's
they're
a real
both
dino
vicious
mullet.
creatures. So
Yeah, both
is
very
this
scary.
Oh,
this is
I'm
like
sure
a-
it's got to be more vicious, right?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Mhm.
That's
they-
double vicious.
They are territorial animals because they're fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good
They're
point.
like, I survived the extermination of all life on this planet. How dare you approach me while I'm trying to eat bread?
I just want
Mm.
one moment's peace from you all.
Yeah, come on. Oh, you're the royal family, are you? Stop approaching my swan pond. People are always saying that they're turning dancers into swans and shit. Like, there's a whole bunch of
Mm.
misinformation out there.
Truly.
That's my
True.
concern.
Mhm.
But the queen does own all the swans, right?
All of them? Everyone?
Well,
I mean, you can't, like,
not
own a
ours
swan,
in America,
man,
but
sure.
like
Yeah,
That's what I
our
thought.
swans fought nobly in the Revolutionary War to avoid that.
but I think she owns all of them in
Who is she in the past?
well,
I mean, she doesn't own
yeah,
anything now.
RIP.
King Charles owns them now.
I guess I should say the crown. Doesn't the crown own
Oh.
them
Swans.
in
Yes.
Canada too, I
Wow.
think.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I guess probably
sure.
also Australia?
and loons. She owns the loons of New Zealand
Oh, I love loons.
Well, dang.
and kiwis.
The people.
Oh.
Well, the birds
I know.
and the fruit, but not the people.
Although sort of the people.
Yeah, sort of the people.
Mm.
They're probably required to do stuff if the crown asks.
Like pay taxes.
Ugh.
Yeah, or just to be coerced into something.
Yeah.
Making it yet another season of a show that was very popular but has since fallen off. I don't know, something like that. Anything could happen.
Oh, you talking about Emily in Paris again?
Yeah. Well-known New Zealand show, Emily in Paris.
Yes.
Although Lily Collins, British, correct?
Phil Collins. Is Phil Collins British? Man, that's news
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, Phil Collins is British.
Is he a sir? Has he been knighted?
Oh, man.
Y'all,
know.
we gotta focus
What?
up.
Yeah. Okay, look. This episode is about the first bird ever, and we're going to be talking about a very, very old bird. This bird's name is Archaeopteryx.
Hell yeah.
That's spelled Archaeopteryx.
And for
Thank
the
you.
home listener, Nate is the only one who thought to look up how to pronounce that ahead of time. Chelsea and I were just gonna like raw dog it. We
Yeah.
were gonna see what happened on the fly.
You were going to bird dog it.
Yeah, we were gonna
Yeah.
raw bird it. Ew.
Yeah, you can raw bird it, I guess.
Oh.
No,
I think
I don't like that.
that's just multi-use orifice to multi-use orifice without barrier.
Oh, I guess so.
Cloaca to cloaca.
Yeah. No, but like, don't they have corkscrew wieners?
Ducks do.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, ducks are a little
I don't
different
know
though.
that.
Ducks
And
that's very from
they
other
go
birds.
like mid-air. It's really
Yeah.
terrible.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's,
Duck mating is extraordinarily violent.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know going into this. Is
Yeah.
that the dinosaur heritage?
I mean, it could be. There's a lot of parallels between Archaeopteryx and the duck, just
Huh.
as there is with geese and several other birds. So this fossil was discovered in 1861, meaning that this is, I think, our third or fourth consecutive 1800s episode of
Oh.
Debut
Oh
Buddies.
damn.
We are locked
Oof.
in the 19th century.
We love it. We're fascinated.
Yeah, we're just. I mean, look, we got to get back to some firsts, and a lot of those firsts happened a while ago.
Can't
Oh,
help it.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't really do anything about that. So Archaeopteryx had feathers, hollow bones, clawed wings, 50 tiny teeth,
Gross.
and a very long bony tail. And it
Hmm.
is the earliest known dinosaur to qualify as a bird in our modern understanding.
What is the definition of a bird? I meant to look it up before this because when I was looking at some, I looked at ones with Kelly, this might be part of your conspiracies, but ones with like webbed wings. So it was more like a bat.
Oh,
Then
so
it
no
was, like,
feathers.
Well, no, still had feathers.
Also feathers.
But the wings were
Oh.
not what the wings were not they had feathers on them, but the ability to fly or glide was by their
Mhm.
webs.
Mm. So like a gliding squirrel,
Yes.
flying
But
squirrel.
looks like a bird.
Or a
But
sugar
looks like a
glider.
bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from what I can tell, from what I read, like the feathers and the kind of feathers that they are very defining as to
Mhm.
what makes it a bird versus another kind of like avian sort of warm-blooded vertebrate thing. Because yeah, birds are just warm-blooded vertebrates with wings and feathers,
Okay.
generally speaking, broadly speaking. But this one is specifically that. Let me see if I can find my note real quick about that. Well, here, we'll get there. We'll get there. It's gonna be too hard for me to go.
That's okay.
I need to figure out how to table of
We'll go in
contents
order.
my email notes to myself.
Yeah. I used to make a literal table of contents in my notes, but then every fun fact became a bullet in the table of contents. And I was like, well,
Now it's
This
not a
is just
table of
my
contents
notes.
anymore. Now it's just this links to yet more notes.
great.
So there are only about a dozen, maybe 13 of fossils of Archaeopteryx that exist.
Oh, wow.
The most recent
Oh.
one is currently in Chicago and it's being studied right now. So some of my information actually comes from the Chicago Museum that is studying Archaeopteryx, and it is called
Whoa.
the Chicago Archaeopteryx. That's
Oh.
the name it's going by.
Wait, so it was found in Chicago.
I believe so. Yeah.
When?
So most of them
Cool.
had been found in Europe around like Germany and France. And one in the UK, and then it appears that two have been found in the United States. One that could have been somewhere in the Rocky Mountain region. It looked like maybe Colorado or southern Wyoming. And then this one now in Chicago that popped up. So Archaeopteryx was unique because, as most dinosaurs go, they had feathers to keep warm or just to like peacock. So dinosaurs were very much like, hey, cool, I got a mate, I gotta stay warm, I got feathers for that. But Archaeopteryx actually was able to fly and glide. So there's your big differentiator. The name Archaeopteryx translates to ancient wing. So
Oh.
archaeo is ancient, is Greek for ancient, and then pteryx is wing, like pterodactyl, winged,
So that was pretty
that
winged
makes sense.
fingers, winged arms.
pretty straightforward. That's pretty lazy naming. Sorry to critique Sir Owen, whoever found the first one.
Maybe Thomas Huxley, I think, might have been the first person to describe what Archaeopteryx was. So to take the fossil and go like, I believe it's this thing. So yeah, this bird though is the definitive scientifically identified proof that dinosaurs are birds and vice versa. It's really cool. Birds are the only things that survived mass extinction 66 million years ago.
They flew away from it.
Well,
they just flew away.
They were just up in the air. They were like, the movie Up was based on these birds. Like, we're sad down here. Attach some balloons. It'll be fun.
Well, and this one specifically, part of it was that, sorry, you're going to get to this and I'm just going to spoil it right now.
Go for it.
A lot of its diet was eating bugs. So it wasn't that a huge thing, is that if you ate vegetation or meat, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
But if you ate bugs, you survived.
And because when the atmosphere changes in composition of oxygen, depending on like elements being released, right? Like when you have changes in that, like bugs grow to enormous sizes, right? Prehistoric bugs, like dragonflies, could be like 4 feet long because the oxygen mix in the atmosphere was like 50-50 instead of what it is now, where it's like 70-30.
Okay.
And this is also fascinating because the truth is, every bug that you see in modern life could grow to incredible size if there was just more oxygen in the atmosphere, like literally a higher amount. It would be fun.
Well, maybe humans too. Would we grow bigger if there was more oxygen?
We might, but we don't
Will
process
we all just
it the
scale
same
up?
way. Like insects process the oxygen through their body. So like the amount that they can process is sort of limited by and based, like they're in balance with where they are. So,
They're just
like a dragonfly is
osmosising.
breathing through its carapace, and if there's more oxygen in the air, then it would get bigger because it's just like, okay, I'll breathe more, right? They're like a goldfish, where it's like the size of the bowl dictates the size of the fish, but they could grow to any size.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure I sent you both the image of that like really giant goldfish that was in France that the guy caught. It was like the
That
size
sounds
of
familiar.
the size of a very large thing. It was bigger than a goldfish, is what I'm saying. Let's talk about the timeline of discovery. Listeners, I'm waving my arms to do some sort of theatrical introduction.
I saw it. It was like
you should
a
have flown.
dissolve.
Oh yeah,
with like
we were talking about Wayne's World earlier. Boodly-doo, 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 boodly-doo. Please don't sue. Please don't sue. So yeah, 1861, the first fossil is discovered. Its name means ancient wing. Already we covered that. 1868, Thomas Huxley publishes a paper talking about Archaeopteryx as an evolutionary transition between reptiles and birds. They're not yet on board with like, oh, this is the thing. It's like, maybe this is a missing link.
Mm-hmm.
Then we jump to 1926. Someone named Gerhard Heilmann published a book fully disagreeing with Huxley and saying, birds are not dinosaurs. Now, did Heilmann also say that birds aren't real? Maybe.
Did he though?
Whoa.
Or do we not?
We don't know. We don't know.
Okay. And what was that guy's business? What did he do?
Good question.
Yeah, I didn't include that.
Politician.
So let's find out.
Well,
birds aren't real.
You'll see why I am asking that question
in a moment when you say he was an artist and paleontologist in Denmark.
Okay, so he was a paleontologist. So he is at least in this sphere.
He drew several illustrations of dinosaurs that were of kind of the type that we would remember from elementary school.
Okay.
They look like dinosaurs from the TV show Dinosaurs.
Fun.
They sort of are upright. They sort of seem to have normal human arms and hands, and they just look action figure-y. Yeah. So, I mean, it's possible this guy was wrong. 1960.
He was just ahead of his time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was like, look, ABC's going to pick this show up in a few, in like 100 years. It's going to be great. 1964, John Ostrom discovers Deinonychus, which is a raptor dinosaur that looks like a bird. And suddenly the debate restarts. Wait, are birds dinosaurs? Are dinosaurs birds?
Wait, in what ways does it look like a bird? Because the Archaeopteryx is not immediately recognizable as bird.
I think it was things like having the same kind of talons on the forelegs. So you would have the sort of like, you got extended limbs that could look wingy.
Yeah.
And then the common thing that runs through all of this is the realization that like dinosaurs and birds all have wishbones. And so they start kind of putting this together. They're like, oh, the skeletal structure between birds and dinosaurs has a lot of overlap. And they start kind of clocking that a lot. And I think a lot of the early problem was we didn't have complete skeletons. So, and something like a wishbone is like in the pelvis. It's in an area that would be likely like if you died and fell down sideways, it could break. And certainly if you're buried with hundreds of years of sediment, like that bone could be crushed pretty easily. And if somebody doesn't know what it is, they might do what happened with like Stegosaurus and things, where a bunch of like spinal ridges got added on because they're like, well, we don't know where to put this. So we just assume this must go here.
Yeah, it's like you're building IKEA furniture.
Yeah, you're like, wait.
Oh, what are these extra parts?
I got like 5 extra ones of these. Should I put spikes on this?
Just put it on.
Yeah. So yeah, Ostrom's like, hey, maybe birds are dinosaurs. 1986, Jacques Gaultier uses family trees and maps out. He's like, check it out. I got dinosaurs. I got birds over here. There's a trunk. They're connected.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the guy who did just a bunch of math to draw all the connections, or was this still
I think it was a combination of math and doing like the genealogy charting thing where he was mapping out kind of the combination, yeah.
Because one of them just did a bunch of mathematic models, and it made me think of when we were talking about Jack-o'-lantern, the
will-o'-wisps and everything?
The will-o'-wisps?
Yeah.
That first story we did with the devil.
Yeah, the devil and
Stingy Jack? Wait.
Stingy Jack, Stingy Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And how somebody did a bunch of mathematical models to like trace the origins of fairy tales and legends and stuff, and I thought that was really neat. This is the same thing, but
dinosaurs.
It's
Birds.
math can do all kinds of
Dino
practical
birds.
things.
I know, I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, I for one don't much care for it, but I'm gonna say just I think the official stance of the podcast is we're pro math.
Yeah.
Yes. Begrudgingly, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we're more pro math than just like people winging it and saying whatever they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same with the scientific method. Actually, I love the scientific
Yeah, I
method.
do too.
I'm
Oh.
not begrudging about that.
No. It still has its flaws because people are applied,
Of course.
into the scientific method, but that's almost always what we discover, right? Is like, oh, this person hypothesized and worked backwards, and that's why that was disproven 50 years later, even though we
Yep.
believe
You
that
got
it
to
was
go
true.
forward.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
go forward.
You got to be willing to be wrong too.
Yeah.
Science
Yeah.
can be wrong, and sometimes you're right, and you go fuck.
Mhm.
1996. So like we're all alive at this point. Lee Yu-min discovers the feathered dinosaur Sinosauropteryx, and so
Crushed
that would
it.
be in China, right? Sino.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
A fossil that many other new sort of feathered dinosaurs like. Basically, it gives them the key to go, oh, maybe all these dinosaurs had feathers.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like
it's
we've been
that
fully
one.
wrong in drawing them as like just rough-skinned lizard things, and they were actually like big, spooky bird monsters. Like what's the really big weird bird that's like in Australia
bird.
maybe?
No, it's Bill something. Shoe Bill.
The
Yeah.
shoe bill. Oh, I hate those things.
They're adorably terrifying. But
Yeah.
that's kind of
Oh.
like you have to imagine that's what.
Wait, are we
dinosaurs
thinking
were
of a
like.
different one? Because the shoe bill is just terrifying. It will eat.
It looks like an
It's
animatronic,
eaten
right?
like a. There's like a video of it eating like a monkey.
We're
It just
we're
bites off
talking
the head.
about
Am I
the-
thinking of a different one?
I love this.
I'm thinking
I love
about
this
the
so much.
Arcadian one. That
Yeah, that's the one
sounds
I
like a
was-
shotgun.
Yeah, that doesn't. They eat things, and you have to bow to them.
Are you
Yeah,
telling me
yeah.
that you're telling me that isn't
Hate it.
adorable?
Hate
I
it.
can't see. Oh, I thought you were showing me Yoshi from Mario Brothers the live action
Yeah,
film.
There's a shoe bill.
Yeah, they're scary. Those
I know,
things
they're
are
super
terrifying.
Yeah.
They're like 9 feet tall.
Well,
But
They're
I
and-
not
also
tall.
like that you
6
have to
feet.
respect them and you have to bow, and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
I've chosen to let you live. And I'm like, great, thank you.
Well, they're scary because they have knowing eyes. Like they
do.
like some animals look at you without any sort of like they're not clocking you. They're not thinking anything. And that thing,
Yeah.
like when photographed, is clearly like, yep,
It's
this is your
daring
last
you.
photograph.
Yeah.
So then in 2022, so just 2 years ago, the Chicago Archaeopteryx arrived at the Field Museum in Chicago. And now there are two very prominent paleontologists and archaeologists digging in, pun intended, Akiko Shinya and Constance Van Beek, which is also
Wow.
appropriate.
Did he change his name to do this?
Isn't that amazing?
So you said arrived. Did it knock on the door? Like, what do you mean arrived?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, because they find a fossil and they have to bring it in.
I know, but typically you would say discovered, maybe. But it was found in Chicago. It's not just being studied in Chicago.
Yeah. So
Okay.
according to my list of all the discoveries of the specimens, that one, the 13th specimen, was discovered by the Field Museum in Chicago. And so it's one of only two from outside Europe.
Where are they digging stuff up in Chicago?
I would imagine it's got to be somewhere near the lake. I figure like you've got a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
because
gotta
we're
be.
talking about a lot of like sandstone,
Yeah.
sediment kind of situations. Because
Yeah.
the cool thing about many of these fossils is they do actually have preserved imprints of the feather patterns, and in some cases,
Nice.
actual like pieces of the hard spines in the feathers left,
Oh,
which
wow.
has given them a lot of clues about things, including that they used stereo whatever the thing is where they can figure out the color spectrology, spectrometry,
Cool.
whatever.
That sounds right.
They figured out that all these Archaeopteryx were like black. They were like
Oh,
goth bird, goth bird.
Yeah, they were basically the size of crows, and they were all black
And they look
with
like
a shinier,
scary
denser
crows.
black at the ends.
Love that.
Oh yeah, this
Neato.
is really cool. Yeah, so we've got the first one was discovered in Germany, second skeleton in London. So here's where capitalism comes in.
Oh yeah, there we go.
It was the London specimen. It was actually okay. It wasn't London. It was actually in Germany also, but it got moved to London. My bad on that. It was discovered in Germany, and a local physician named Karl Haberlin was given this fossil in exchange for doing his job. Like he made a house call, and somebody's
Wow.
like, "Can I pay you in fossil?" And he's like,
Okay.
"Yeah, yes."
Wow.
He's like,
Good
times are
times.
tough.
Good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, right. Like we should all be able to do that. I don't want to
Like
have
bartering.
I don't want to have a copay. I want to hand somebody a bag of cool rocks I found in gratitude for taking out my appendix.
love
Thank you very
that.
much.
And now, okay, I have so many questions. First of all, you said he made a house call. So he is a medical doctor?
Yeah. You do medical
And-
I thought he was a
services.
dentist. Wait, did I make that up?
I only have local physician. I don't have
But
Oh,
like a
medical
okay. I
human-
don't know why I thought he was a dentist.
Doctor
'Cause
of
Nate was
humans
talking.
in
Okay.
sub capacity.
You know tooth
And-
stuff's coming.
And so, God, tooth stuff is always coming.
Yeah. This
And
bird
so,
has teeth.
did he? I know, I hate it. But this guy accepting fossils as payment,
Mhm.
did he have to pay taxes on those? that wasn't my question. It
You had to
just-
like chisel off a little bit of the fossil. Here, you can have the
You can
tail.
you can take a wing.
Don't give the wing. That's one of the more important ones. So, did he? Was he known to love rocks, or was whoever he was tending to, was he the rock guy?
How many fossils did he have? Like, did he just have a room stockpiled of fossils? And he was like, go in and pick one out for yourself.
Just like a very sick fossil hoarder that's like, hey, thanks so much.
Oh,
Here, you can have this. I don't know anything about what he did with the fossils or if he kept any others. But he turned around and sold this for £700,
That's a pretty good
Which-
fee.
yeah.
which translates to about £83,000 in 2020 money. So he made
That's
a
a good-ass fossil.
sweet mint on that Archaeopteryx, selling it to the National Museum in
Scammed
London.
that guy.
Yeah,
that
he
guy
did.
did not know what he had. He
Yeah.
took advantage of him.
Yeah, twice, because he didn't know what he had when he was sick, and he told him.
Exactly.
And then he was like, here, let me pay you in something that I also don't know what I have. It was just a cold. It's such a bummer.
87 grand is
Ugh.
pretty sick payment for a cold.
Because because £83,000 would be like $100,000.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Quite a bit of money.
Maybe
Quite
a
a
little
bit
bit
of money.
over. I don't
Very
know
expensive
the exchange
stone
rates
bird.
right now.
Yeah.
But there's only 13 of these total, so it better be expensive. Like, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just the like, let me look around my room. What can I pay this doctor with? I
What do I got?
know
All I
this
have is this
incredibly
fossil.
rare. Do you think he stole it from that guy?
Oh.
Do you think he drugged that guy and stole his fossil?
What? He gave it to me for payment.
Yeah.
Sadly,
He was
I
very
lost
sick.
the patient.
Yeah. Oh man. Wait, we don't see him. He's not in his room. Oh no, I lost him. I'm not a navigator. I'm a doctor. Hey. Okay. Third fossil, the Berlin specimen, was discovered near Eichstätt, Germany, by a farmer named Jacob Niemeyer. He sold the fossil to buy a cow in 1876.
Good for him. Full cow.
How big was the cow?
How expensive are cows?
Not expensive enough.
Oh,
Not big
okay.
enough.
I've never bought one.
Yeah. Plus, it's like, I mean, cows have a shelf life. Like, this fossil's been around for hundreds of millions of years.
That's
You're getting
true.
you're getting something that's going to last like 60. I don't know. Cows are probably about 60
I
years.
mean, and that's
Do
only
cows
if you're
last
keeping
that?
it as a pet.
That's if you're
Like
keeping it.
Aw.
And you're milking it for like 30
You
of
have
those
like a
years,
family
maybe. If it's a
friend
milk
for
cow.
the rest of your time, depending on how old you are. Get it in your 30s. You'll die before it. I don't know.
Yeah, you could. Is this? Are we making a? Are we making?
I
a
might
pact
want a
right
cow.
now?
I might want
Are
a
we
cow.
making a
is what I'm
cow
saying.
pact? Are we gonna make? Are we gonna have
Maybe.
cows?
I think we might.
Are we gonna start a movement?
Oh, God.
This is a call to action for our listeners. Everybody, get a cow.
Okay, the fourth one, just a torso. The Maxburg specimen was discovered in 1956, and it
No
was
wings?
brought to a professor.
Is it just torso? No wings?
Just torso. No bottom half, and not really any wings at all. It was just like
Wow.
just that little bird tube.
Oh, bird tube.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Then there is the Tyler's specimen, 1855 near Reidenberg, Germany. There is the Eichstätt specimen that was 1951. There is the Solnhofen specimen from the 1970s, also in Germany. Like, these birds were kicking it in Germany.
Yeah.
What is the deal? Is the German climate especially good for them, or is that
Or was
particularly like the best place to capture bird fossils? Like, like, is the rock a specific?
Did they just have a
type?
lot of paleontologists there that are digging everywhere?
Yeah, are people just
Are we just
digging up
lacking paleontologists? Yeah.
Yeah, part of the Paris Treaty after World War II was that they had to get rid of all the military and everybody had to become a paleontologist. So I think that's just kind of why it happened. I wonder if it's like Germany has the Rhine and the Rhone.
Yeah.
And you're like in kind of the European plains there with mountains on some of the side, like the sort of rising mountains of Bavaria and the Black Forest and stuff. So maybe you just had this thing where like that was kind of flooded for a period of time and a bunch of bones got washed in with sand at the same spot into the same place, right? You had like a delta at some point, everything got washed up there, then just time.
That makes
And
sense.
people were like,
That does make sense.
We got a KFC under this pile of dirt.
This must be where the birds ate.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
They were cannibals too.
They were. Look at all their little teeth.
Why they need all them teeth if they're just eating bugs? Oh, the bugs were huge.
They're crunchy.
Yeah.
I remember.
Crunchy bugs. Plus, like, you ever try to eat like a gummy worm without teeth? Can you imagine how hard that would be?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good question.
That's science. That's science right there.
I mean, I do like lateral thinking for working your way through questions like that.
Yeah. If not linear thinking, at least lateral thinking.
Lateral thinking.
There's a Munich specimen. Then there is an 8th specimen, was also fragmentary. That one was at the Mornsheim Formation. I don't know.
Yes, Mornsheim.
There was another fragmentary fossil found in 2000. It was in private possession, and it is on loan to the Burgermeister Mueller Museum.
Oh, so they kept it and they didn't sell it?
So they're like, I know that a guy made $100,000 off of one of these. I'm
going to sit on it for a while.
Yeah. This is only going to appreciate.
Trying to get a bidding war going.
Yeah.
No, guy, it's going to depreciate
fossils.
as we find more fossils. Use your brain. This is how capitalism plays into it. now we're talking about fossil speculation.
Yeah. I mean, a fossil's not worth anything like the moment you take it off the lot. So you might as well buy a used fossil. It's silly. I don't know why you're going after a new one.
How do you go about loaning something to a museum? Like, what if they don't give it back?
I mean, I think that's probably part of the plan. Like,
yeah.
I assume lots of museum collections get sort of left in a will or something. And it's like, here, you can borrow this. And then I'll come visit it whenever I want.
Yeah.
Get to go every Saturday and walk into the fossil room and look at it and give it a little scratch under the chin.
To look at the fossils?
Yeah. Do I get to go to the museum at night if I've loaned them a fancy fossil?
Probably.
Can I go whenever?
You'll probably be invited
I gotta
to
see
events.
my fossil. And also look at all the other stuff while I'm here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once you're in there, they can't get you out.
That's true. You've got my fossil. I'm in here too, buddy.
But if movies are any indication, you're going to have to deal with lots of quirky characters.
Girl, that's what I'm looking for.
Teddy Roosevelt. as played by Robin Williams.
Aw. Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P.
And then Owen Wilson is a small
Cowboy?
cowboy?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
I don't remember that movie very well.
I don't think
I've only
saw
seen it once, and that was probably like in 2002 when it came out. I don't know.
Oh my God.
20 some years ago.
There are 2 of them. 3? There are 2.
I think there's 2.
3? Okay.
So when I was 8 or 9 years old, I was really into dinosaurs. I think I've talked to you both about this before, that I like made a dinosaur book that was laminated and it was on the shelf in the elementary school library up
So
until the point when I
fun.
went back when I was in high school and it was still there.
God, you've been making books
I know.
from the beginning, dude.
Lifelong publisher, just
I love
doing whatever. It's fine. They've all sold the same amount. 0. But you can find them at a library if you're lucky. The cool thing was that book and my interest in dinosaurs prompted one of my teachers to be like, "Hey, you're one of the gifted kids. Let's do a project. Would you like to
She
write a
meant
letter?"
weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, but not. Look. I've used weird for myself for a long time, and I had a moment last night. I was looking at like my author bio, and it has weird in it, and I was like, "Shit!" But I'm not JD Vance weird. And I'm not Donald
No,
Trump.
no,
I just want to be very clear.
no,
about
no,
that.
no.
Like,
No.
This is
very-
authentic weird.
That's the thing, that they get really offended by people calling them weird. They would probably be offended by people calling them a nerd, which is the
Yeah.
difference, because we're like, that's a badge of honor, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand, but they get really offended by it. So it's okay.
Nerds.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. They don't understand
Yeah.
it's a good thing because they think it's a bad thing. So we're winning.
Yeah, we totally. We're very much winning.
Mm.
So being a weird nerd, my teacher was like, "Hey, let's write a letter to the head paleontologist of the Denver Museum of Nature and Science."
Aw.
So we did. And I got invited to go into the museum and hang out with him for a day.
Fun.
And so
Aw.
his name was Richard Stuckey. I don't think he's with us any longer, but he was the head paleontologist museum. I got to go into like the back room where they've got all the little stations and the little arm riggings and everything, and the big magnifiers,
Whoa.
and people are just sitting there with the tiny little brushes, like dusting the things off and like making sure
So
that we
cool.
got to make sure that we're revealing this bit of bone without damage. It was so cool.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh. What a cool thing. Was
Yeah.
it a group of kids or just you and
No,
this
it was
guy
just
chumming
me.
around?
It was
That's
literally
awesome.
like my parents and him, and that was it. Like we went.
Aw.
I think my dad had to work, so like my mom took me, and we just go
Yeah.
back there, and he took me around everywhere, let me ask questions. He was like, "This is how
Whoa.
this works. You can't touch any of these
That's
because they're
so
very important,
cool.
but you want to try this thing over here." And it was very neat.
Sure
That's
do.
awesome.
Did you pass on anything?
Yeah.
Do you want to try this? Nah,
No, that's okay.
I'm good.
I think I get the gist. I still have the letter that he wrote me back somewhere too. I haven't
Aw.
found it in a while. I think it's probably in a storage thing in my basement. But it was a very like, it's so rare that you get like a deeply meaningful handwritten letter, especially as a child from an adult
Yeah.
that isn't like trying to prey on you.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like adults writing you letters as a child, totally normal when they're evil. But
Yeah.
when it's a good letter.
Very uncommon.
So yeah, there's more of these. There's a few more. We had one that was discovered in 2011. There's another one in Germany discovered in 2014, and then the Chicago specimen.
How do you think these two in America got over here? And did they fly?
Was it? Were we like when did
Oh, it was
what?
probably
What?
that little path.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's that little
Yeah,
little path.
the bridge, like the Bering Strait Bridge kind of thing, or just
Yeah.
maybe
That's what it's called, yeah.
when Pangea was a single continent, they could have just kind of traveled across. I would guess that again, it's probably a similar thing, like where they were found, because one of them looks like it was on the Front Range of the Rockies, and the other one would have been Chicago. So again, you're like kind of in a basin where there's high mountains and kind of a sort of raised plain / floodplain there. My guess is there's just not many of these because they all got destroyed. But a few of them were
Oh,
lucky
yeah.
enough
Yeah.
to get caught up in sediment and buried, maybe just shallow enough that we can find them. Because the other end is maybe there's a ton, but they're just so far down we can't
That's
get
a
to
good
them.
point.
and we're just fracking right through
wonder-
them all the time.
We need to for that sweet, sweet juice.
Yeah.
I wonder, I wish I had thought to look this up because this is knowable, or at least approximatable. Like, what is the percentage of fossils found that are this guy? Like,
Of all
Oh.
fossils.
yeah.
So I did just look up where in Chicago it was found. I'm going to say something that's going to be sad.
Uh-oh.
Germany.
Is that in Chicago, Germany?
The Chicago specimen of the Archaeopteryx, did I say that right?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
was found in Solnhofen. Why did I? Limestone,
know.
a fossil deposit in southern Germany
Oh, well, okay.
Okay.
Then, yeah, they're all just German then, probably.
by quarry
Well-
workers in 1990, but remained in private hands until it was acquired by the museum in 2022.
Oh.
So I guess it's all Germany.
I've got bird poo on my face then.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
All
okay. Yeah.
Germany.
Well, I thought it was. I was just like, where in Chicago? Well, like I thought it would be around the lake as well.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense then if they're all just from the same area. Because then
Mhm.
that I'm gonna guess that the one that's in Denver or whatever is not from
Right,
here.
yeah.
It probably was also from Germany. Because they all do
It'd
just
be
seem
cool if
to
it
be.
was though.
Wouldn't that be wild? There was just
Yeah.
one.
What if your guy studied it? What if the guy who took you on a tour in the museum studied it?
That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah,
He might
I should
have.
look him up a little bit more and see. What I'll
Yeah.
do
Maybe you were in the same room with
for a
it.
future.
Write him another letter.
Well, I mean, I think he's dead, but
Okay.
I
I
meant
mean,
more
you
that I
never
can
know.
like.
Still write him a letter.
Spirit photography,
It's true.
guys.
It's true. Hey, there's nothing wrong
We
with
can let
that.
something know.
But yeah, I could look him up and try to report in a future MouthGarf report and see if I can find any details on Richard
Yeah.
Stuckey and what he's done. Let's talk about this bird dinosaur for a little bit because I can give you some info about what it was, and then we can get to the other stuff.
Yes.
That's also exciting. So Archaeopteryx was from the early Tithonian stage of the Jurassic period, which means about 150 million years ago. So there were
Wow.
crows bopping around singing Mr. Jones 150 million years ago. Or
Dang.
all I want to do is have some fun.
Okay.
Or
Keep going.
hard to handle?
I cannot
the
vouch
black
for any of
Black
this.
crows? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Good job. That was 3. That was really impressive, honestly.
There was a period of time in my life when I thought that Sheryl Crow had been a member of the Black Crows because I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
Like, for
why would
sure.
you be called Sheryl Crow if you weren't like a member of a crow related band? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the other guys in it were Thomas Crow and Kevin Crow. Like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
makes sense
It's
to
just,
me.
it's just a bunch of crow people. But this is insight into why my humor is as it is.
Wait, is Russell Crowe in it?
Right?
Yes.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay, I thought so.
30 odd foot of grunts, I think, is the name of Russell Crowe's band. And then, of course, his star making turn in Les Miserables.
Of
Beautiful.
course. Beautiful singing voice.
You could really hear the waterfall. So, yeah, roughly the size of a raven or a crow. They had broad wings, rounded at the ends, and a long tail compared to the body length. They could get up to about 1 foot 8 inches in body length.
Nice.
It's a pretty big bird, but not too crazy.
And body length, does that count the tail or is that
Oh,
just
good
head
question.
to
That
coccyx?
includes the tail. And
Okay.
then you have 2'4" in wingspan.
Okay,
Okay.
So they're like little flappy
that's
birds.
pretty good.
And an estimated mass of 1/2 to 1 kilogram or 1 to 2 pounds, pretty much.
Thank you. Thanks for the translation. I was like,
So they have a lot of dinosaur characteristics because they had teeth, because they had that bony tail. Because the tail's got a bone in it. It's not just like a feather plume tail like a regular bird. It's like it's a
Oh,
bone.
okay. So
Which
it keeps
I-
its weight distribution.
Yeah, and and
Oh.
gives you something to wag when you feel like it.
Cute.
Yeah. I genuinely either did not know or just had never thought about how birds' tails are only feathers. When
Mm.
I read that about this guy, I was like, You learn something new.
Yeah, you're like,
every
wait a
day.
minute. That bird just has like a tail
They're just
mohawk.
feathers
It's a
in
butt
there?
mohawk.
Huh.
It's not actually a tail.
Weird.
There was a PBS video that I watched on it. I don't know if you're about to talk about this, but that it has claws.
Yeah, it does have claws.
And that it like climbs everything. And it looked like in the video it looked like a squirrel like climbing on everything. And I
Yeah.
was like, man, this looks like a mix between a squirrel and a bird and not necessarily I mean, there's still dinosaur in there, but
So they had 3 separate
That's
digits on
fun.
each foreleg with claws on each end, which is very different from birds. This is where we go like, oh, it's a dinosaur for sure.
Mhm.
But ducks and swans have these claws concealed under their leg feathers.
Whoa! I do think I had heard that.
So you've got
That's
like your like little
crazy.
floppy paddle feet, but then there's like
Yep.
hooks. Ducks use them to grab onto the mate that they're going to forcibly
Gosh, they
inseminate during the process of duck love.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Hate that for them.
It's not great.
Oh.
It's not great.
No. Hate it.
Archaeopteryx also had well-developed flight feathers, so they're asymmetrical, as is necessary to create proper like airfoil effect. They have veins for stability, so that they're not just flopping around feathers. They're like stiff enough that you can do a thing with them. And they have something called barbule barbicel arrangement. So it's like the way that the stiffness is arranged in the feather and how the feathers hook together. Like the way that like, when birds clean themselves, they'll like put their thing in their mouth and straighten it out.
Yeah.
And it sort of like ziplocks down. It like zippers smoothly.
Okay.
So that kind of thing, right? Whereas there's, like a feather boa is just like plumy, right?
Yeah,
it's
You're
just
not going to
loose.
smooth it to a single uniform surface.
Like an
but
order.
these guys could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tail feathers that had firm veins. So it did have a stiff tail, but it also had firm veins on the tail feather, which makes it bird-like and dinosaur-like at the same time. Pretty cool. Then this graduate student named Ryan Carney in 2011 does a color study and discovers using energy dispersive X-ray analysis that they have black melisinomes in the feathers.
Wow.
So
That's so cool.
there's a 95% likelihood that they're like just full raven black dinosaur birds.
Wait, I've
That's
got a
fun.
question. Did we have feathers from multiple specimens or just one?
They did. They had multiple different. I think there was like 6 of them. They had usable feather imprints or remnants in them. Because there were a few of them that were partial, right? There was the torso one. There was one that was just like a head and a wing. But yeah, we had a fair
Well, and
amount.
some of them are just like imprints with no like literal feathers to test.
Yeah, no
something like
bones,
that.
no anything other than like vague leavings that I think they
Yeah.
can still analyze, but it's a lot trickier because you have to like look for something. I look, I'm not these things. I didn't follow the path of my childhood
I'm
adventure.
a different type of scientist.
They also had so here's the thing. It didn't have a bony breastbone.
Yeah.
So that would indicate that they probably weren't like a strong flyer. They didn't do a lot of long flying. So they kind of analyzed that the way that the muscles would have to be arranged would be sort of connected around the wishbone in like a boomerang shape. And then you would have basically like a lot of strength to do a down push, but not a lot of strength to pull up. So the same way that like a crocodile can close their mouth really hard, but if you hold their mouth shut, they can't open it. I think their whole
I
thing
didn't
was
know
like
that.
isn't that it's a fascinating thing. If you ever find a crocodile or an alligator, just get the mouth closed and
snout.
hold it down.
Mhm.
Yeah. They will
So
be
would it be
very
like they-
upset.
Likely that they like is it likely that they like climbed and would drop from somewhere high?
That's my guess. Yeah. I think they probably did climbing. I think it's probably kind of a little bit like the way chickens work too, right? Like a chicken will like
Yeah.
jump and they will
Yeah.
flap a few times to carry themselves a short distance, but they're not really capable of like gaining lift on their own from the ground.
Though I did see that the thing about the solar plexus is, I guess that is usually the anchor for fly-in muscles in birds as we think of them today.
Yeah.
But then I saw something that with with the Archaeopteryx that their clavicle is all one piece without a separation like ours,
Hmm.
and that it was like weirdly beefy.
Mhm.
And so some paleontologists were like, they could be anchored to the clavicle instead
Oh.
of the sternum. But I didn't look very far about that. That could have just been like an idle thought that somebody had.
No, that's totally
Not-
that's totally part of the thing, because they're basically where they're stuck now is trying to determine whether the way that the muscles had to be arranged would mean that they couldn't move their wings back like far enough behind their backs
Hmm.
to create that back and forth updraft.
Okay.
So if they couldn't do that, which would be because of the lack of the sternum situation, then they probably couldn't fly. But if it was connected to the clavicle and was just anchored differently, they might have been able to fly in a way that we don't mechanically fully understand. It would probably be different from
Yeah.
the way modern birds fly, but it could be very similar.
It does seem to be broadly agreed, though, that like if they could fly, they weren't great at it.
Yeah. It's probably like an evasive sort of evolution, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm a little guy dinosaur.
I'm just a tiny guy.
Get the fuck out of here. Also, what's that over there? That looks tasty. I'm going out of this tree
Yeah.
and I don't have to climb down. I can glide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good move.
It's great.
a pretty good
I
move.
wish I could do it.
Same.
I mean, doesn't
Yeah,
everybody love when you
I-
see Batman glide off of a roof or something? You're like, "Nah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be great. It would be thrilling to just like
I was thinking of that scene in Aladdin where Aladdin just jumps off of Jasmine's balcony. And now he didn't glide, obviously.
Right.
He had the magic carpet.
Yeah.
True.
But I was just imagining doing that exit.
like
I'm out.
it would be, I mean, the best goodbye would no longer be the Irish goodbye, it would be the Aladdin goodbye, where it's just like, I'm defenestrating. I'll see you later. Next time. So yeah, that's the first bird. That's what I've
Have
got.
fun on the stairs, suckers. Sorry.
So much traffic.
Okay, so I did almost no research on the actual history of this bird. And honestly, if I'm being truthful, honestly not so truthful. You can tell because of how many times I'm using a synonym for it.
Nobody lies when they say they're honest and truthful
Nobody
this much.
lies. No, I'm trying not to lie. I didn't do a ton of research on the hoax either, but there is a hoax or claims of a hoax around the first Archaeopteryx fossil.
No.
And it is, so that first one was in two pieces. There are two fragments of the stone on which we have the imprint. And it's sort of divided in the same way that like the Fiji mermaid was divided in Barnum and Bailey. Like it's
Bisected.
straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so on one half, we've got like the talons, the teeth, and then on the bottom, we've got feathers. And there's actually feathers on both sides, but like the body of it is separated into like the birdy parts and the dino parts. And some guy came along. This is years after this was discovered and has been studied. And is widely accepted. Not widely accepted. This is like pretty contentious that calling this the first bird, quote unquote, the missing link between dinosaurs and birds was like really contentious. People fought about it a lot. And this guy came along and was like, this is fake. This is faked. This was faked. And his idea was that somebody had done like it seemed like he was describing screen printing of feathers onto an actual dinosaur fossil. So he was like, it is a dinosaur fossil, but somebody used like a limestone cement to make the feather imprints.
Oh.
And it was in the British Museum, I think, at this time. And there had been a hoax prior about, do you remember the giants, the hoaxed giant skeletons? No, this is just a weird thing that I've gone down. Okay.
No, I remember that. Yeah, well, because this was an era that kind of goes back to our skeptics discussion around around thought photography and stuff. There was just like a bunch of people coming out of the woodwork to be like, that can't be a real thing. I'm
Right.
going to use science, and it's going to be as unconvincing as the hoax.
And then, well, with the giant skeleton hoax, the guy was like, "I'm going to create something that fools the scientists, and then I'll like reveal it." But I don't remember all the details of that one anymore. But this same museum that had the Archaeopteryx is the one that had the giant hoax. And so this guy was like, "See, this museum doesn't like study their skeletons very well." And so this became like, it like reignited the fight about whether dinosaurs were birds.
Wow.
And everything I read about it was people citing how it was ironic that the person who discovered the first Archaeopteryx didn't believe in evolution. And so it was like ironic that he found this thing that shows evolution happening between dinosaurs and birds.
Yeah, when all he was looking for was a knife.
That's it. That's all he needed. Rain on his wedding day? No,
Yeah.
wait, that's not what he needed. that's what he got. Hold on.
It's like being the man of your dreams and the meaning his beautiful wife.
Yeah. Oh God. Actually, literally been there. Yeah. So I don't know, just all of these essays around this that were like stoking the fires of this controversy were so funny, because if you read one step further, you found that they were just inflammatory. Like people were just mudslinging, because the guy who found it did believe in evolution. He didn't believe in Darwin's theory of evolution, which is the natural selection. He was like, it's much more complicated than that.
So people were writing clickbait
that makes
headlines
sense.
a long time ago.
Exactly. That's exactly what was happening. Yep. And so more recently, much more recently, like within the last 10 years, they have been able to like definitively prove that fossil is not a fake, which like everybody agreed.
Yeah.
Really. But then every so often there'd be a voice that comes in and is like, well, we can't really trust it now, can we? And so with like really, really high powered digital imaging software, they were able to like, the other thing that they were claiming about it being a hoax is that because it's in two pieces, they don't like fit together.
Oh.
They were like, they don't fit together anymore. And it's because of the cement they put over top to do the impressions of the feathers.
Right. Yeah. Bess Reens, this isn't a friendship necklace.
Exactly. Like it's all wrong. So, and that's been totally disproven. Like they were able to digitally image it because they can't like literally push it together because it's so fragile. It's like crumbly.
Yeah.
So you can't like mash it together in real life and be like, see? And so they had like done casts of it with the same stuff they use for dental casts. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Gross.
And so they had done that over the years, and like that's only so precise. And just like the way they use digital imaging for teeth anymore, they did it for our little guy, and they were able to show it through digital rendering that like, no, it fits together.
And this is how much
Like-
better it'll look with Invisalign if you sign up today.
Yes, exactly. No, now they're upselling me. I don't trust it anymore.
See how your fossil's kind of bent in a weird position? What if we could straighten this out for you so you could feel like it was a real smile?
There's no way that we can floss this fossil.
Flossel.
Oh, there it is. Hang on to that for
Yeah.
future. I see what you did there.
Yeah, that'll work well. The fascinating history of discovering things and then people being like, that can't be true. This throws my belief system into question. I don't like it. Or just being like, hey, I don't think that this one dude's particular vision of how this works is correct. I wonder how he
Right, yeah.
disagreed with Darwin.
Well,
That
and
would be
like-
interesting to know.
I guess it's like a more nuanced view of evolution, and it seems like that's sort of gaining favor over the years as like natural selection doesn't really answer all of the things that we have been able to observe. But I don't know any more details than that.
There was
Just different.
a book I recently read that said a lot of the things that end up harming people happen after procreation, so you can't weed them out. So the
Interesting. We're talking trauma.
survival of the fittest.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I'm talking about heart disease.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about heart
late,
disease, dementia, and cancer. I think that diabetes, the big four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff that isn't in your DNA that wouldn't like.
Oh, it is. I mean, a lot
The
of that is.
activation isn't though. I don't know.
It depends. But
Yeah. Okay.
but
we don't
some
have to
parts
get
of it
into
are, but parts of it aren't. And some things you can still work against them existing or
Mhm.
but yeah, they talk about
Yeah.
how a lot of people, whenever they start to show signs of any degradation, it happens post childbearing years.
Hmm.
Yeah. So then I was like, oh, maybe everyone died close after that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Because, yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah, what
about
were the,
professional athletes who have, like, surprising, like, heart ailments and things, right? Like,
Mhm.
they're athletes who just, like, keel over at 20-something years old and they have a heart attack. And it's like, oh, whoop, we didn't notice that thing. And
Yeah.
you would assume, based on their performance and things, that like, oh, this is if natural selection was a thing, and be like, well, this is a person who is evolved to be really functional as an athlete. And it's like, nope, bad engine.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. You got to let them die so you can pick the ones with the good engine. That's I don't like that.
No, I think
I
mean,
agree with this other guy who's like it's more complicated.
It's also like Darwin's vibe is inherently kind of colonial, I think, right? That like,
Yeah.
oh well,
Yeah.
if things inherently fight each other, and the strongest, smartest ones are the ones that keep going, which really sort of gives carte blanche to like, hey,
Yeah.
white Europeans, like you're clearly better than these people you're killing, and you're surviving them, so you must be more evolved.
Yeah, wasn't he a phrenology guy? Darwin?
Oh, was he?
Probably.
I can't
Ugh.
remember.
I mean, it was very popular.
Phrenology's back, you guys.
Oh, good.
So everybody calm down.
Finally.
With this. It's all on TikTok. Face reading. You can
Oh.
read about someone's personality
From
and
their
traits
face?
based on their face. No, that is phrenology all over again. That is a fancy word you've given racism. Everybody, stop.
This is our weird little sort of relationship with new agey / spiritualistic
Yeah.
body assessment stuff, is that like the snake starts eating its tail at a certain point, and it's like, oh well, people are unhealthy because they don't follow the exact diet that I've chosen to follow, and that means they're inferior to me, and that means, oh wait, they also have you're giving off like a weird aura, and that aura means that you're inherently a monster, so it's okay that I don't
I
talk
am,
like
so-
yeah, it's all very weird.
Perfect. My aura is perfect then.
Broken rocks, wrong click.
Giving
Scary,
perfect
but
monster.
beautiful.
yeah. Aw.
Yes, phrenology is all tangled up in Darwinism.
Ugh. Gross. Well, yeah. See, this is the thing. I'm happy to go with dinosaurs are birds. Here we are.
Yeah. No.
And birds are the best.
dinosaurs.
Well, both. Yeah.
But not all dinosaurs were birds.
Right. It's a squares rectangles
Oh,
thing. I hear what
yeah.
you're saying. I'm with you. Yes. But yeah, I love it. I love watching birds boop and bop around. We talk about this in the
Yeah, all
MouthGarf
the time.
report all the time. We
Yeah.
love birds.
Birds
booping
are
and
the
bopping.
best.
Yeah.
It's well established.
What's the
here on
scariest
pod.
bird?
That weird
The
Yeah,
the
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 shoe
one
bill.
Nate's trying to tell us is cute.
Shoebell is. I was hoping you guys would say a different one.
I'm gonna see if I can find one that's also scary. What's this thing? A great pooch?
California condor. A lot of the trash man, the garbage birds.
Oh yeah.
I say that affectionately. We love them.
Oh, carrion birds?
Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
I'm talking about like
Mhm.
vultures and
Birds who eat dead
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
vultures.
Yeah, vultures are scary because they are so big.
Mhm.
Like when we first moved
Yeah.
here, I was walking Rocket, and there were like 2 vultures that were working on roadkill in the street.
Yeah.
And as we were walking up, they like spread their wings, and I swear it was like 9 feet across. And then they just flew up to a tree that was literally right above the sidewalk and sat there until we got far enough by, and they were like back down to the corpse. But it's
that's how you know they're not.
Oh, they don't care.
Scary.
Yeah, they're not.
Like,
we're not dead yet.
They were
They're not
scared
that
too.
interested.
They feel like bad omens sometimes because you see them fly and you're like, well, something's dead. So
right.
So that
Which I
feels
think
weird, but I still liked seeing them. There was a tree on my walk that was covered in vultures. Did we talk about this in a previous MouthGarf
No,
report?
but
Because it was
I love
shocking.
this.
It was like 3 black vultures and 4 regular vultures.
That was a conference.
Yeah. And they were
Yeah.
just all perched on this one tree. And we just stopped and stared at it for like 10 minutes. And I was like, I can't stop looking at them.
Whoa.
have
I don't think
captured-
I've ever seen one in real life.
Oh, yeah. Or they're buzzards, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Buzzards.
buzzards feel similar, like condors too. Like they all have the
Mhm.
same sort of. I love the
Crow's
idea that a
heads.
group of them is called a conference. We
Oh,
got a
I
murder of
regrettably I
crows,
looked it up and it's a condo.
and we got
Oh.
really, it's a condo.
Yeah.
The HOA.
Oh,
cost
here's
for
a good
that
one. A
condo.
group of buzzards. Can you guess it? You can guess it.
Fuzzies.
What's a group of buzzards? That'd be so cute. No, remember that people are scared of
a
them.
compactor?
That'd be so metal. No, they're called awake.
Oh wow. Oh yeah,
A
because
space wake.
they're rolling in.
Death.
They're rolling in to see the corpse off this
The corpse.
mortal
Cute.
coil. That's kind of fun.
Hawks are scary. Eagles sometimes.
Yeah.
Big claws. Somehow claws. You get picked up by them.
There was a
Right,
great hawk
scary.
around here the other day that like you get the like that really loud like they have like a
yeah.
very shrieky sound.
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
that just like, oh, here we go, right? Big wings, big flaps, you got the legs hanging down, and they're just talons, man.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're cool. I told the story about when I came out of my apartment years ago, and there was just one
Oh, just
on
right there.
on the
Mhm.
like rail of the staircase. I was like, oh hey, bye.
See, that's when you could really use gliding ability.
It's
Ah.
Like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go out the back window.
This is a scary bird, the marabou stork. It's also
Ooh.
called the undertaker bird.
It
It looks that's
Ooh. Oh God.
right.
looks like a turkey with a condition.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a what were the bad guys from Dark Crystal called?
Skeksis.
Yeah.
Skeksis. Yeah, looks like one of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, listeners, that was an entirely visual section for you.
You can look it up.
Yeah, we're with you. We said what we were doing.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else about Archaeopteryx?
We have to talk about the president birds.
Yes.
President
Let's talk
Bird.
about other
Presidential birds.
first birds.
I just put president bird and it showed me a lot of pictures of birds that look like presidents.
Oh, I'm interested in that too.
Mallard Fillmore.
Oh,
No.
keep going. Keep going. I don't know birds well enough to. Calvin Coolidge.
Yeah. Oh, there you
Birds
go.
Coo.
Coo, coo,
Mm.
This is great. Jimmy Croter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Took me a second, but okay.
Yeah. It wasn't a good one. I didn't at all say it was a good one.
45 presents, 20 had a pet bird.
That seems high.
Yeah.
That seems a really high ratio.
I just wish that they had them in a list. It's like, yeah, you have to read the article. Abraham Lincoln had a bird.
that
Right.
feels really right to me. What type was it? I'm imagining
A
canary.
turkey.
It was a
Oh.
His
turkey.
son grew attached to a turkey. He
Oh,
pardoned the
that's
bird.
fun.
It was the first pardoning of the bird, I guess.
Aw, cute.
Oh.
Hmm.
And he was like,
I
have
like
this really
that.
tall stovepipe hat. You're my turkey.
Aw.
Well, I mean,
Andrew
that's why
Jackson's wife
he
had
was
a
called
bird.
Abraham Lincoln and not Abra Turkey Lincoln. 'Cause he always had
Was it-
ham on
Mm.
Thanksgiving.
He's a ham guy.
Mm.
Yep.
Andrew Jackson's wife had or kids. I'm not reading this in a good order. African gray parrot.
Oh,
They're very smart and they mimic words.
and those live like 100 years. So
That's cool.
that parrot probably was at the bottom of the succession list if anything happened to the president and the vice president and the secretary of state and the speaker of the house.
Who do you think he was put before?
I would assume Andrew Johnson, maybe. Nobody liked him.
No. I mean, in a survivor situation, it's like the vice president and then the bird, and then who's the and then?
Oh.
Who did the bird beat out for next?
Go with the governor of
Secretary of
Transportation.
the governor of New Jersey. They were like,
Yeah.
let's stick it to this guy. You're after the bird.
President James Buchanan was gifted 2 bald eagles.
Amazing.
Aren't those endangered?
Bald eagles? Yeah, I think so.
think we
Mockingbirds
should be
were
gifting
members
those.
of Grover Cleveland, Hayes, Coolidge. The most famous mockingbird-loving president was Thomas Jefferson.
He did
He
like
had at least
mocking people.
4.
It looks like Teddy Roosevelt had a hyacinth macaw.
Oh. I don't know why none of these have like a list. Every article is just like, here's 2 presidents and what birds they had.
There's so many more of each of those articles. Stop
Yeah.
cheating me. John Tyler had a canary named Johnny Tie. That's like
Okay.
that's like naming your penis your own name though. Being like, oh, this is little Johnny. It's like, oh, come on.
That's also like
Name your canary something.
what
new.
a like skis ball name for a bird.
Yeah, Johnny Tie.
Oh yeah, you need a hookup? Let me just call old Johnny Tie.
Just go ahead and sing a song to Johnny Tie.
Martha Washington had a green parrot named Snipe.
Oh,
Ooh.
James
Named Snipe?
Madison. Yeah, named Snipe.
Isn't that also a type of bird?
well, that's like that boy initiation camping game, like going snipe hunting.
Oh, snipe hunting.
Snipe don't
yeah.
actually exist, but you send a
Oh.
kid into the woods with a stick and a bag and
Mhm.
scare him by leaving him out there at night, telling him
A
he's
snipe
hunting
does
a thing.
exist. Snipes do exist.
They don't.
And it is a bird.
No, it's not.
A
JFK
snipe is
had a
any of
canary
about
named
26
Robin.
wading
Oh.
birds.
Well, maybe
What?
so.
Sorry, go on, Chelsea.
JFK had a canary named Robin and a pair of parakeets named Bluebell and Maribel.
Wild.
Trying to make a canary joke. Should have sent the canary to Dallas first.
Probably would have sang about the danger.
Yeah.
William McKinley had a parrot who could whistle Yankee Doodle.
That's cute.
Okay.
Calvin Coolidge had
Oh, he had a bunch of them, right?
a pair of canaries named Nip and Tuck,
What?
a white canary named Snowflake, another canary named Peter Piper, a quote yellow
This is
bird named
bullshit. This is a
Goldie.
bullshit article. This is
This
not
is from
real.
this is from Audubon.
This is
an
sensational.
Audubon article. A
This
yellow
isn't the
bird
end.
named Goldie, a thrush named Old Bill,
Oh.
a goose named Enoch, a troupial named Do Funny, and an anonymous mockingbird. We just won't name them.
Wow.
Right?
Jeez.
He's been mocking me all day. We shan't give him a name.
Dwight Eisenhower had a parakeet named Gabby, who died while he
Oh,
was in
cute.
office and was
Oh.
buried in the southwest corner of the White House grounds.
Oh,
We can go visit Gabby today.
We could
dig her
take a
up.
White House tour for Gabby. Tell us your secrets, Gabby.
What did you see?
Yeah. This is wild. Presidents having birds.
Yeah, presidents have birds. People have birds.
First
I would
So
never
many
have a-
presidents.
Have you guys ever thought about having? Have you ever had a bird?
I have not.
I have
My
not
wife
either.
grew up. Jenny grew up having. They had birds. They had like parakeets and stuff. So
Hmm.
My
but-
grandma had a bird.
they're like noisy. And then you also have the thing where you just have to like cover the cage for most of the day
Yeah.
so that they
Oh, that
don't
makes me feel bad.
talk the whole time. And they can't
Oh,
really
yeah.
leave the cage. And they poop a lot. And there's
They
seeds
poop so
everywhere.
We gotta let them be free then.
Yeah, it's kind of
Birds
tough.
gotta
It's
be
a
free.
tough sell. Like birds are a
Yeah.
tough
Yeah.
pet.
Plus, they live so
It's true.
long. Like this
Yeah.
100-year-old parrot. What am I going to do? Leave a parrot in my will?
Exactly.
I take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
please
If I
leave all your
ever
parrots
become
in the will.
burdened by
It'll
a
remind
parrot.
you. It'll remind me of you. It'll be scary yet beautiful.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean,
my brand.
as lovers of Maya Angelou, we can't
Yeah, no
lock a bird up.
No,
cages.
No kidding.
No
must
cages
go
here.
free.
Although there was a caged bird in Aliens Romulus.
Mhm. Oh,
Like
yeah.
early on when they're going into the mines, they've got like a canary
Oh,
in
yep,
a future mine thing, which I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
No, still
I
works.
like those things. What, I mean, yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Oh, we've outsourced a lot to AI, but not the canary in the coal
But
mine, I see.
This tiny living thing is actually still the best way to know when we're toast.
Go, we got to capitalism again.
Yay!
Alien
So
Romulus.
Yay! It's time for the MouthGarf report.
The MouthGarf report. Open wide for some lasagna.
I hate Mondays.
Yay!
Yeah.
So last time we had MouthGarf, I talked about how I was watching Mike Flanagan's The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Yes.
I finished that. It was amazing.
Okay.
And now I'm Flanagan again
That's right, you are.
Ooh.
because I'm in my Bly Manor era.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so interestingly, we tried to watch this maybe 3 years ago, and I kind of bounced off of it, but I hadn't watched any of the other Mike Flanagan stuff yet. So I think I like wasn't looking at it the right way. So I watched the first episode again. I was like, oh yeah, I've watched all this, but I get it
Yeah.
now because I'm like invested in this world and
Yeah.
this ensemble and all these things. And so now I'm like 7 episodes in. I love this thing.
Yes.
I love these because so much of horror is about the horror we carry with us, right? Like
Oh,
that is the essence
Yeah.
of like a good horror movie is usually scary because it taps into something that you bring with you instead of just being like everything that's scary is what we're showing you on the screen.
Yeah.
You both know this because you never
yeah.
show the monster. Like
Because you are the monster.
well, yeah. Like the monster is the unknown. The monster is loneliness. The monster is loss. The
Yeah.
monster is guilt. The monster is grief. Like it's so interesting how like this one takes the classic like, do you want to play a game with us, Nanny?
Yeah.
kind of creepy children thing. But then it just mixes in like, well, what if you're like a woman who is not straight and wants to
Yeah.
like live her life and something horrible happens that's very much an accident, but you feel horrible about it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And how I don't know. I think that's something that's so cool because life is so much about choices that we often look back on, whether we regret them or not. We look back on them and we try to evaluate our own stories to figure out who we are, and it builds to anxiety, right? I also like that like the main spooky villain so far is literally her panic attacks. Like that's it. Like she is running from being so anxious that she can't stand it, and she is reaching for buoys in a stormy sea all the time and kind of never able to grab anything. So really great. Fully recommend it.
Fun fact, Kelly and I stayed the night at that house.
What?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. We
Where
did.
is that house then?
It's in Seattle.
Amazing.
It's outside of Seattle.
That's wild.
It's not in Seattle. It's outside. I can't remember exactly where. It was like a
No, I can't
half-hour
remember.
drive or something.
That's amazing.
It wasn't
Yeah.
far. And it was a weirdly placed. You like turn off the interstate and then there's a gate and suddenly you're there.
Boom, there it
Yeah.
is.
You're like in a neighborhood. Like we were in a nice little
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
and
it
then we
was a
turned
neighborhood.
into and we're like, oh, this is weird.
This is super
This
weird.
isn't an isolated English
It's like
country
all
estate at
normal
all.
houses, and then all of a sudden it's like gate. And you're like, okay.
And I'm pretty sure all the employees left at night. Do you
Yeah, I think that
remember?
they were all gone. Yeah.
It was like us and another couple.
Yeah, that was
Another
it.
couple.
You're a
We
couple.
were there as a
Aw.
couple. There was one other couple at the end of the hall, and it was just, I'm pretty sure, the four of us that night.
Were they
have,
also there for the Bly Manor thing?
could have been for, so we were also there for Rose Red, and we watched
Yes.
Rose Red while we were in there because that is
Mhm,
also shot
mhm.
there.
Interesting. Yeah.
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 They had the
But just
DVD in the room
exterior,
for us.
though, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I love that idea. Like, talk about talk about the only not evil sort of landlord opportunity would be owning and inheriting a house that you're like, this is perfect for every haunted house movie anybody wants to make. Please film
Yeah.
here. Pay me a little
Yeah,
bit
exactly.
of money, but let's spook
film
this
here.
thing out.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, it was beautiful, but that like statue garden,
Oh, yeah.
or rather the garden with all the statues, was, some of them were weird.
Mhm.
I guess just because they were babies.
Yeah,
I
a
guess
lot of
there was
babies.
nothing. Yeah, I guess it's just
Maybe
the
I haven't
baby
seen the
fact.
lots of baby statues part of the show yet, or maybe it's not in the
Oh,
show.
I don't know if that's in the
I don't
show.
think it's in that.
But weird.
Just in the person.
yeah,
Great.
It was weird.
just
It was
in the person.
you don't have, and you didn't have a bathroom with your room, so you had to go out and you have a key.
That's right.
And I just
Oh.
remember having to pee a lot and like having to
Mhm.
unlock it and just being like upset. And I'm like, this is so
That's right. It
difficult.
was locked. Oh my god.
Yeah, we had to unlock it with a key, and I was like, this is more than I need for in the middle of the night having to pee. But
Yeah, what a hassle.
Was it
Yeah.
scary? Or was it just like annoying that
not
you had to
really.
unlock the door? Okay.
it was really pretty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But do you know what was weird? That Hall of Angels.
Yeah,
There's like
that
a
was
hall that's just
like a
lined
painting and
with paintings
Yeah.
and paintings and paintings and
Oh.
paintings of angels. And as you work your way through it, you get to a section that's framed newspaper articles, and it's all about Mormonism.
Whoa.
And I was like, what have we here? I think I might have some pictures of that. I'll send
Yeah,
them to
please,
the group
please
chat.
do. Because yeah, not for nothing. Like watching Hill House, I got myself so like spun out on the last 3 episodes
Yeah.
oh yeah.
that when it was over, I left my office that I'm currently in, and I went back to brush my teeth, and I heard a noise in my wife's
Oh, God.
office. And then I
Oh,
and then I
no.
went in and I peered and I couldn't see anything, so I turned the light on, and then I startled myself with her clothing in the closet. Like I fucking
Aw.
jumped.
You got so spooked.
I did. And then like it took me like an hour to talk myself down because I was just like,
No.
what is that? Is
Mission
this house
accomplished.
haunted? You know? Oh,
Yeah.
All of them are. Everyone.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Is I think there's a lot to be said for just that, like haunting is the act of listening. Being
Mm.
haunted is the act of listening to the things that are there rather than not,
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
So yeah, if you do listen, you go like, ooh, ugh. I didn't really think of yeah. So that was fun. It's a great show. I love all of
I love
these.
that.
I'm enjoying my watch through.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good, and you have so much more left.
Oh,
too.
I'm so
Like,
stoked
so
because
much.
now because the algorithm like Netflix is just like, do you want to watch Midnight Mass? Do you want to
Midnight
watch
Club?
this other thing? Yeah. It's great.
Yes,
Midnight
the
Club,
answer is
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
I will definitely be watching all of these.
Mhm.
This will happen until December 24th. I will be watching these for as long as it takes. It won't take that long. I'm watching them very fast.
Have you read Turn of the Screw by, who's that, Henry James?
Yeah, long time ago.
Bly Manor is Turn of the Screw with a bunch of modern additions.
Yeah, which I like. That's the thing I like about what Flanagan does, because this and then the Fall of the House of Usher
Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm.
one.
similarly is like, okay, let's take a bunch of Poe stories and we'll make them the
Yeah.
basis for each individual episode as a vignette
Mhm.
contained within the story. And I like that that's a lot of what's going on with this.
Yeah.
It's just smart too, because it's like, hey, guess what? We've got good spooky stories you can build off of.
Right.
You don't have to try to write this stuff
Yeah.
bespoke and then come up with something dumb and terrible. Like tap
Yeah.
into our long held understanding of our own fear.
Especially something like Turn of the Screw, which I guess is scary if you're a Victorian child. But it takes an amount of creativity to make it scary, properly scary for a modern audience. And Flanagan did it very well. Plus, there's another thing that Flanagan added, which I think is very important, and that is Raoul Coley. Hubba hubba ding ding.
He's in
Am I right?
He's in House of Usher, right? But not
Yeah.
in anything else?
No, he's in.
No, he's in Midnight Mass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's.
I just haven't seen that yet.
What is he not in?
He wasn't in Hill House, I don't think.
Oh, I
Is
just
he in
assumed he was in
Bly?
everything.
Is he in?
He's in Bly.
Yeah, he's in
He's
Bly.
in Bly.
Who is he in Bly?
He's the chef.
Yeah, I was
the
like, I'm
cook.
picturing him walking into
he's
somewhere.
Owen.
There we
Funky
go.
Owen
Sure.
with his prim accent and his sweet mustache.
Does he have a mustache? Yes.
Yeah.
That honestly might be the start of my mustache era. That could have been the inciting incident of my mustache era.
It's a good mustache. If I wasn't
strong.
effectively maritally ordered not to grow a mustache, I would be like, that's a look. I like that. I've always
look.
kind of liked the look of a mustache with just like a little bit of a shadow, like 5 o'clock shadow, and the rest of the beard too.
Mhm.
It just has like
Yeah.
it's got like it just you seem like rough but accessible. I like that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Plus, a mustache is a really good accessory for your teeth,
Oh, God, you're so right.
which you might have if you were the first bird or a person using a mouth guard.
That's true.
Oh, my God. That's a great reminder. Here is my mouth guard update.
Yeah.
My mouth guard with the metal insert. Guess who's chewing through
Oh
it?
my god, really?
Oh.
There are fracture lines.
Oh.
So I might have to stop wearing it because
You don't want to swallow
I
that
can't.
metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I would swallow it,
But it
but,
would
I think
ruin
it
your
would
teeth.
cause
You're gonna cut
it would hurt.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can they synthesize a new metal for you that you can't chew
I think what I
through?
need to do is get
Pillows.
TMJ Botox.
Yeah, okay.
That might
Yeah.
I've
help.
heard great things about that. It seems to be
Yeah,
a very
my-
functional solution.
In fact, my dental hygienist was like, the place below us, the office below ours, does it. You should just go in.
Just go
And I
in.
was like, you should hire one of them to come up here.
Yeah. I'm already up here. I don't want to go down there.
Yeah.
What am I, Aladdin?
I'm gonna
I
have
gotta
to
go
look
down
into
the
that.
stairs.
If only I could glide like the I've already forgotten.
you're doing great.
Archaeopteryx.
Yeah. Do that. You should. You should
Yeah.
totally do it.
I'm gonna have to.
You got it.
I'm gonna have to.
You got it.
That's my only update.
Okay.
I have no teeth update and I have no bird or garf update, but I do have an insect update.
Great.
Have you guys ever seen slugs getting it on?
Whoa.
Huh.
No,
Yeah.
but now I want to.
No.
Fucking weird. And they were doing it right outside my door the other day when I was leaving. And they like
Yeah.
hang on to the side. And then I thought they were giving birth. They were not. Their thingies were coming. I'm going to send you guys a video.
Yeah.
Super gross.
This is amazing.
You
Okay.
guys can Google it. But
Is it face
No.
to face?
you know what? Actually, I'm just going to send it to you and I want your live reactions on this.
Oh yes.
If that's
excellent.
I really,
1000% correct.
because I had to watch this with my face.
I'm already surprised. Oh. Ah.
Whoa.
What
Okay, yeah. For a second there,
is that?
I thought, okay. Yeah.
Right?
For a second there, I was like,
I was like, I don't
you have
understand
one of those
slugs.
weird twisted candles that's hanging from your wall for some
No,
reason.
I do not.
And
I have
then-
two slugs fucking. So
With anatomy that I had no,
I had no idea.
The slugs are
idea.
on they're on a long string of their own like sticky goo
Gunk.
that is
Mhm.
stuck up high. So they're hanging
Mhm.
about like a foot down.
This is
They
so
are-
dangerous. Are these little daredevil slugs?
Yeah.
So
They need the thrill.
Yeah, they're in the yard high club. They can't enjoy it otherwise. Yeah, they're like coiled around each other to
mhm.
make like a corkscrew
Like
or
an
like a
ice cream
drill
swirl.
bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or an ice cream swirl. And then
Yeah, it's
so these
choco
the
vanilla.
slugs are
mix.
like a dark gray kind of dark brown color, but
They're
they
not
have
small,
these
they're pretty
protruding pale like powder blue and white wands, like throbbing organs
Come
that are
out
coming out
and
of
rub
them.
against each other.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So they both have that?
They're hermaphrodites,
They-
apparently.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what's funny is that they may or may not be doing it right because they
They did get close and they started to like,
but they
and
kind of
then
like they got
I
confused.
think they got camera shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They were
you
like,
know.
God, what a bitch.
They're like, call our agent if you're going to record.
Yeah. So then whenever I got back, I can't remember what we had left to do, but when I got back, I think it was just me. I got back, there was just like one slug going away and there was no evidence that anything had happened. And I was like, did he eat the other slug? Did they eat the other slug? I don't know. I don't know what's
What
going on with them.
happened? What
Now,
happened?
did you
Yeah.
get like luminol and a black light to ensure that nothing happened?
No, I'm not going to do that. That's just there forever. When you guys come visit, I'll
None
show
of my
you.
business. It's none of my business.
So this episode is both first bird and first slug porn.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Great.
God, Chelsea, you made the first slug porn. No, as I said
I said not
that's
the first
definitely
one.
not true.
No.
Though this will be available on Patreon at the $1,500 tier if you want. You are not allowed to deep fake the faces of people you know onto
Oh,
it.
God.
So we will not allow
Oh,
that.
God. The Supreme Court is like, I know we said we'd know it when we saw
Yeah.
it.
But
But what exactly
I
am I
gotta be
looking
honest,
at?
I'm
I
pretty
don't know.
stumped.
Amazing. That was the MouthGarf report.
I'm ready to see what you did there.
Let's play a game.
Yeah.
It's time to play. I see what you did there. I'm going to talk about birds. Birds, baby birds.
Ooh, I'm a little
Herbs.
worried.
I am too.
Yeah, I didn't think I would be, but I'm
I legit had the most fun that I've ever had putting this one together. So
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I think
Uh-oh.
this is going to land for everyone. I think.
Okay.
I know I say that every week to
We'll find
widely
out.
mixed results. But this time, I really think I got something here. So number one,
okay.
this Boston Celtics Hall of Famer wore the number 33 and played an epic game of horse to try to win Michael Jordan's Big Mac in a 1993 TV ad. And this is the obligation on a party in a dispute, legal or philosophical, to provide sufficient warrant for its position or claim.
Do you know the second one, Kelly?
Is it burden of proof?
It is, yeah.
Larry Burden of Proof.
You see what I did there. Larry Burden
yay.
of Proof.
Fucking teamwork.
Hell yeah. I got to rewatch that Big Mac horse commercial too, because I was putting this together. I was like, they were in a commercial together, I think. Was he trying to win a Big Mac? And sure he was. So my memory of 1993 commercials, still here.
God, that's one of those memories where you're like, if I made this up, what does it say?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like my Sinbad condom commercial, where I was like, I can't have dreamed.
But he did. He was in all those sex ed
Sinbad
videos.
dressed as a condom. Thank you. Every time I mentioned it to somebody, they were like, what are you
I
talking
remember it
about?
specifically because in 8th grade health class, that was the section of the video we had to fast forward through legally because
Jesus.
parents wouldn't allow kids to see how a condom was put on. So Sinbad in a
Oh,
condom
I
putting
never
it on
saw
a banana
that.
wasn't allowed to be part of the thing.
Oh, I
Aw.
still haven't seen that part. I've just seen him dressed as a condom, and we specifically watched it in health class.
There it is. Things were different then, and now they're different now.
Yep.
No.
This Larry Bird Michael Jordan commercial is great because they're like shooting regular shots and they're like in the rafters and then they're like, okay, and they're standing on top of like the Sears Tower, I think, and he's like, okay, off the freeway, through the window, one bounce, nothing but net, and then the commercial ends, and I was like, oh, I remember all this shit. Like this was formative for me. I was 12, and this is one of the most important things still in my brain. I could have learned how to play the
Valuable.
piano
No.
or.
That wouldn't have
This
helped
is
with
more
I see what you
important.
did there.
True. I mean, it could have made it fun if it was like, name that tune. I see what you did there.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Chelsea's.
We
out.
wouldn't have
Great.
gotten that one. We wouldn't have gotten that one.
It's true. We wouldn't have.
Okay. Number two. This bird-themed tag game is popular with school kids and often results in dizzying circular chases around the classroom. And this is a special marching step which is performed during formal military parades and other ceremonies where troops swing their legs in unison off the ground while keeping each leg rigidly straight. It's now heavily associated with Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union.
Okay.
Is it also associated with the Moulin Rouge? Because I'm only coming up with the can.
It's like that, but there's no knee bending with this particular march.
Okay.
Bird-themed tag game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bird-themed tag game.
With dizzying chasing?
Yeah, you'd
or
probably
chasing?
So
chase
you
each
like
other around a
spin them
circle.
around and then you run in a circle. Duck,
In a
duck,
circle.
goose.
Great.
Oh.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Feeling good about that.
Yep.
Um,
Oh my
You're seeing
God.
what I'm doing.
goose
Okay.
legs?
Okay.
I don't know what the last
Goose.
goose stride.
Flaps.
It's a simpler word than
Goose.
stride.
Oh,
Literally,
Walk, step.
yes. Kelly got it.
step. Nice.
Yeah. A goose step, like, because you would be like goose stepping Nazis because they march that way where
Right,
they kick the legs
right.
straight out. And yeah, duck, duck, goose step. You see what I did there?
Okay.
Wonderful.
All
We're
right, we
doing-
did
This
it.
is a really great teamwork one.
Yeah. It's all coming together. I love it. Okay. Number 3. This yellow cartoon bird speaks only in tiny scratch marks, is best friend with a dog who thinks he's a fighter pilot, and shares a name with a generational music festival. And this is a proposed condition or theory that tries to explain why hostages sometimes develop a psychological bond with their captors.
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm
Oh,
syndrome.
Great.
You see what I did there? Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
I ignored the second part of that, and I thought yellowbird, and I was like Tweety, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I should have paid
Yeah.
attention.
If you hadn't mentioned the dog.
The smart.
I had to
ignored
because it
I
would have
just
been
wrote down
Tweety
Tweety,
otherwise,
and then-
right?
Right. Yeah.
So smart.
And yeah, apparently there's no information about what kind of bird Woodstock is. Like Tweety is supposed to be a canary.
Yellow.
Chicken.
But yeah, Woodstock's just a yellow bird.
Little chicken,
That's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
chick,
Let's go chicken.
right?
Maybe.
I don't know.
He could be a chick if he wants.
Okay, chicken hair, right?
Chicken hair. Do chickens have hair?
Yeah.
Feather hair.
You get chicken hair.
We all have chicken
We
hair.
got to go back to what is a bird.
So a bird is anything covered with hair.
Wait. Dolphin. Bird.
Yep. Each of us, bird.
Bird.
Yeah.
Especially the two of you in jolly old England.
We're birds of a feather.
Well, yeah, that
Yeah.
too. Okay, number 4. Number 4. This is an iconic and influential American indie rock band formed by Jay Massis, Lou Barlow, and Murph. It was originally called Dinosaur, but the band was forced to change the name due to legal issues. And this is the tier of school-funded sports teams reserved for underclassmen and less experienced or skilled players who don't participate in top-level games and competitions, but can be called upon as needed.
Dinosaur Junior Varsity.
Dinosaur Junior Varsity. You
Damn,
see what
nice.
I did there? Very good. I love that. I love that
That was great.
factoid that Dinosaur Junior's original name was Dinosaur, and someone sued them, so they were like, "I guess we're called Dinosaur
Dinosaur
Junior
Junior.
now.
Fine.
Huh.
Yeah,
Fine.
we'll
Dinosaur
settle
Junior.
this in court."
That does explain why my dinosaur discography has both Dinosaur and Dinosaur Jr. I've always just
Oh.
assumed that I did the metadata wrong.
But no, it's real. It's really a
Yeah,
dinosaur.
Nice.
And I forgot about JV being a thing that was like, oh, this is also for kids who could be called up to play in varsity games at any time. I always kind of thought of it as like, well, you graduate up tiers, but no, JV is just like, you guys are reserves. You could come play when we need you.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't know anything about that. Sports.
I
Interesting.
think I only knew that from Riverdale.
Yeah.
The depth of reading I did on varsity sports for that, like probably an hour. I probably read an hour of
Beautiful.
varsity sports definitions because I was like, I don't know how to say any of this now. This is weird.
God, you were really having a jock afternoon. You're looking up JV, you're watching this Larry
Larry
Bird
Bird.
commercial.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. You wearing a jock strap the whole time. It was a real thing, but no injuries. So that's
Oh,
good.
congrats.
Yeah, very important. Number 5. This is the last one. This is a 1989 supernatural superhero comic book series created by James O'Barr, revolving around the titular character, which was originally created as a means of dealing with the death of his fiancée at the hands of a drunk driver. And this is an English actor, comedian, and writer known for title roles in the sitcoms Blackadder and Mr. Bean, and in the film Johnny English.
What's his name? Oh, I'm picturing him so hard.
Hold on, I've got it. The Crowan Atkinson.
The Crowan Atkinson.
Rowan
You see what I
Atkinson,
did
yeah.
there? You did it!
Yay!
Didn't I say that was a good one? That was a good one.
That
Yeah.
was a good
Great.
one.
What a delightful one.
I like how you said James O'Barr and immediately
We were like,
Chelsea and I were like, got it.
I was like, oh shit, great. Because I was waiting for maybe the titular character or maybe the dealing with the death of the fiance thing. Another factoid I didn't know about. It's like, oh, yeah, you wrote this because a bad thing
Yeah,
happened
it
to
is
you.
really. If you want to hear us talk
sad.
about that,
Oh,
we will talk
yeah.
about
Tune
that
in
on
to
our
Never
other
Show the
podcast at
Monster.
some point. I think it will be in the past for you all. So
I think it will
But for
be.
me in the present,
yeah,
I can listen to whatever
we
I
can look
want.
forward to it.
It is for the crow boot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And that sounds familiar to what sound I've heard most people say. Talking about the crow boot.
Or we can just talk
We'll
about
talk.
the crow. The best.
Yeah, there you go. Better plan.
We'll talk about James O'Barr a lot. We'll talk about that sad history.
Mhm.
We haven't
Yep.
recorded it yet, but I'm gonna talk about it a
But-
lot.
Yes.
We can see into the future.
This is magic, listeners. You are behind the veil.
Mm-hmm,
You have pierced time and space itself.
God, the timelines of the two podcasts.
We did it was the last episode. We did talk about something from Debut Buddies. The last
that's right.
3 episodes I've mentioned Debut Buddies because I was like,
It's
we
not
just
out
brought this up. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of the more recent ones where I'm like, oh, we got name checked. That's great. I love it. I love being part
Yeah.
of the shared universe. You know what else is part of our shared universe? Debs!
Oh, yeah.
Debs.
We got to talk about how many Debs.
How many devs? How many devs? How many devs? How many devs?
Full 5. I don't even know. I
Yeah.
have no pause. There's birds. Birds are the best. Birds are better than people. I don't even know why we're even discussing this. The devs
Yeah.
would agree as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
full,
sure.
full on
Okay.
5 Debs. Birds are dinosaurs. The end. Amazing. Great. I love it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I needed. That's everything.
And this in particular,
Plus, we got a nice conspiracy theory,
big black bird.
which we love.
We love a
Yeah.
large black bird.
We do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Singing in the
true.
dead of night, taking these broken wings and learning to fly
Mm-hmm. 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 Can't remember the next line.
all your life. You were only waiting for this moment
That's
to
right.
arise.
For this bird to arise.
It's true.
Mm.
We were. Archaeopteryx, thank you.
Thank you for
We love
saying
you.
Yeah. Shout out.
We wish we
Shout
could
out,
give you
shout
a
out.
hug and brush your little teeth.
Mm-hmm. Hope we find a fossil and then we sell it
Mhm.
for money
Now we're
and
talking.
can do
Yes.
this full time.
Yes, we can. We can build Debut Buddy Studios
Yeah.
and the rail infrastructure required to get us there without flying and using a
Right,
bunch
perfect.
of major fossil fuels.
Love
And
it.
then we
Mhm.
could just do that. And plus, Debut
Mhm.
Buddy Studios will have like a pool, and there will be like an aviary, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Obvious.
Some
Yeah.
cool stuff. Like we'll
Garfield.
buy
It's
part
gonna
of
be
Bly
shaped. It's gonna be a
Manor.
Garfield shaped building, you guys.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be.
We'll record
it's
in
gonna
the
be
head.
a one giant Garfield
Or belly.
phone that we can use. And whenever we do a podcast, we just lift the receiver and blast it out into the ether. Oh yeah, so good, so good. Our next episode, we're going to talk about the first Ghost with the most sequel. We're talking about Beetlejuice. Don't say it 3 times.
Beetlejuice.
Oh.
You can't stop me.
It's too late.
I won't do it.
We got a
right
real
now.
Freddie Mercury over here. Don't stop her now.
You can't stop me now.
Having a good time.
I'm excited.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a fun conversation. I have already
Yeah.
seen it, but I'm not gonna say anything.
You have not
Okay.
seen it.
I'm
so
but
excited.
I'm excited to
I've
discuss
been watching
it.
a lot of the press tour, so I've got a lot of
Mm.
things to say about
Okay.
the press tour.
Great. That's
Mhm.
this is the kind of stuff that we need. We need that meat. We need
Yeah.
a Chelsea press tour meet. You know what I'm saying?
Ugh, I don't
Like,
know.
don't you just sometimes like you falling asleep and you're like, I want to let Chelsea press tour meet.
God, no.
Do you think that when you're falling asleep?
Look, I am just a vessel for the listener,
is-
and I think that everyone has that thought. That's what I think.
Okay, listener, mute us for a second. We have to have a family talk.
Ooh, now we do the bit where like on Comedy Bang Bang when they're not recording, they just like kind of whisper to each other and someone pretends like they're not listening. So if you want to do that, I'll just sit over here and act like I don't know what's going on.
No, my talk was going to be a lecture
Oh,
to you.
Great. Don't think about
I thought we were
press
gonna
tour
have to
meet at
Burn the
night,
board.
or don't bring it up. Which was really the problem? Was it the doing it or the bringing it up?
Two things can be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I retract my statements, and my board is back to 0.
We have actually put it in a trash can, so
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
we won't light it on fire though. We'll
Oh.
wait for that.
I
So,
got one more strike before the board is
Yeah.
burned completely.
You've got like 2
Before
more
the
minutes left in
match
this
strike.
episode, so let's see if you can make it.
Fair. So yeah, listeners, join us for the first Beetlejuice sequel. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you like this podcast, go ahead and subscribe, rate, review us wherever you listen. Go to Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. Tell us what your favorite bird is. Ancient, current, or otherwise. Don't talk about weird, gross stuff that I say as a joke. Don't do that. Be real.
No.
Talk about birds. If you like the music, Michael J. O'Connor is an amazing musician and also well attuned to Screaming into the Abyss. I didn't record that part, but it's good for you to know anyway. You can check out his music at michaeljoconnor.bandcamp.com. If you want to buy some books, man, I've been publishing so many books this year, Spaceboy books. Go to readspaceboy.com. You might find something you like. Some of them have birds, including a book titled A Carnival of Birds.
Oh, fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
And if you miss me and Chelsea in the off weeks of Debut Buddies, you can find us over on Never Show the Monster, where soon, or maybe recently, there is an episode about the Crow reboot.
Caw.
Read.
Caw. My favorite part is when he goes, caw, crow.
Yeah, no, that's a good part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best part of the movie.
All right. This was great. So much fun digging into a first bird, fossils, and all of the wing and a prayer of
Mhm.
our history. It's a lot of joy.
Yeah.
So later clucks.
Oh.
Later,
Later
Clucks.
Clucks. Oh,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Yoha.
Yo-ha.
Bye, buddies.
First is best, or first is worst.